Hi folks, thanks again for joining me. Today's painting, I've done like a woodland river type scene. I've done a few of these, but I actually enjoy doing these, all the trees and the reflections and whatnot. So before I show you the colours, I did this one. I can't continue without doing a quick book plug. Available on Amazon, hardback, softback, Kindle, Watercolour Paper Made Simple, Volume 3. Loads of step-by-step photographs in there to help you guide you through each painting. Currently working on Volume 4. I'll show you, I'll have to do an update video on that. And there's the paintings in this book. So that's the book. Let me show you the colours I've used for this. So on my palette, where we've got ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey. I didn't use alizarin crimson in there. Raw sienna, burnt umber, and light red. So 6 colours in this one. And the brushes, as always, most of it done with a large hake. What else have you got? I just use that flat brush just for pulling the foreground reflections. You'll see that in a bit. Then a couple of riggers. I always use that black tiny one just for little things like birds and figures. And then a number 3 rigger for doing all the trees. Let's get cracking with this one then. Some clear water. Then I'm going to go bit of raw sienna, bit of lemon yellow, all down the bottom on that side, bit of ultramarine. All these colours are mixing on the brush and the palette and the paper. Touch of water just to loosen it all up again. And this is just like a background of mass foliage. Bit more water, keep it loose. Yellow, Payne's grey. This is for the dark sort of shadowy areas. Bit reflected down below. Bit more lemon yellow. Right then, there's a sort of background, nice sort of little background for us to work with. Next thing I'm going to do is grab the rigger brush and I'm going to start putting in some tree trunks. So these are the distant trees. These will fade off as the paper, because the paper's still wet. And then we'll be left with some nice hazy trees in the background to help create that sense of depth. Don't forget the reflections. Putting down the reflections as I'm going along. Now before all that paint starts dripping down any further, I'm just going to take a bit of raw sienna and then just work out the sort of lay of the land. So it's going up about something like that. And this one's going up quite high. Something like that. It comes round there like that. Soak up that water at the bottom of the paper. Right, now let's put a few more of those distant trees in. Just give a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue. And I'm just flicking up with the brush and then just pulling down the reflections as I'm going along. A few more on this side. And then I'll do a few more as the paper dries, and I'll just get stronger and stronger as I go along. Right, and so you can see the water sort of sweeps around, and then through this little gap there, it's going to go and then right into the foreground. Actually, I think this is a little bit of foreground. Actually, I'll put the trees in first before I start messing about with all that foliage. So I'll just soak that up at the bottom. And then because the paper stretched a little bit, I'm just going to pull it tight against this board here. Incidentally, I hope you're I hope you can hear me a lot better now. I finally invested in a microphone. I don't know why it took me so long to get it, but the audio should be much better from now on, hopefully. So this is just lemon yellow. Just pop in a few more of these things. Sometimes I like just to go into that red, just like an injection of colour. A bit down there as well, reflection. I'm just going to put a little bit on the other side as well. Right then. Let's get back to the rigger brush, number 3 rigger. This time I'm going to press down a little bit more now, and you can see going on much stronger, much more definitive stroke. A little bit of brown into the mix as well as the blue and the yellow. And again, pushing down, pulling the reflection as well at the same time. Might even try, just while it's still wet, just see if I can just scrape a few in as well. See, like that. These ones look as if it's just catching the sort of light. Do one on this side as well. So back to the rigger, brown, blue, yellow. Pop him in, another one in there. I don't want them all sort of symmetrical, so I'm going to do one going across the other way like that, just so it looks more random and natural. Just keep reloading the brush, push down for the broad stroke. Don't forget the reflection. Let's get the base of the tree a little bit thicker, so it's got something to stand on. Again, a bit more over there. That one's going diagonally, a little bit wider. Well, let's do some on the other side. Put one up there. Just come out there like that. A little bit up there. A bit more brown, blue, yellow. So this is what I'd call the sort of mid layer, if you like. So I've got the distant ones that I put in first while the paper's still wet, then these ones, and then finally they're the sort of strongest ones, and those 3 layers up create a depth to the painting. Right, I'm going to leave it like that for now. Back to the height brush. I want this to be a little bit lighter, so I'm just using a damp brush just to create a light area there. That'll contrast against the shadows. Bit of brown, bit of blue. And we've got some dark sections going in. These like shadowy areas. Just scraping a few little rocks here while I've got this wet paint. If I clean that brush now, just sort of soften some of this off. Now back into the yellow. Pop a little bit of yellow in there. Some reflection down there. And then again, a bit of brown, bit of blue. Just want to strengthen that a little bit more. Cut that across that reflection there, and let's just bring a little bit more land there. Just bring it right down to this foreground bit, and then Just a little hint of some more rocks down here. I don't want to overdo these rocks. It's so easy to do so. I might use this flat brush here. I'm just sort of pulling across, trying to get that sort of watery effect. Leave that like that. Obviously when you do that you need to keep it parallel with the bottom of the paper. You don't want it sort of slanting up or down. A few more rocks coming down here. Brown, I'm going to do one in blue. Back to the brown. There's rocks all the way down to this foreground. Also flicking a few, see a few little reeds and things growing here and there. Let's just flick a few up down there. Bit of blue down there. So it's all about restraint. If you imagine the light's coming down the centre, so I'm just going to do these ones left-handed, so the rock, it's catching the light on the right-hand side. Again, just want to keep it fairly subtle. Maybe another rock in there. Maybe don't forget you can paint over them. If you do too many rocks, just paint straight over them. It's no hassle. Right then. Just make sure that's flat. Let's just try this dry flat brush again. I'm just leaving it there. It's all, the ears are sort of scuffed up a little bit. I'm just seeing what sort of effect I can get. If I just pull that across. Right then, leave that. I'll leave that on the side. Comes in handy, that does actually. See if I need that in a bit. Right then. So I think what I need now is some more trees. So I'll keep the hake in my little finger there. And I'm going to switch back to the rigger brush. Bit of brown, bit of blue. Now this is quite a dark mix. So I'm going in with my biggest trees now. So I think I'm only going to come down as far as about there. And then these ones really go in strong. Lots of paint. That one's going a few little twigs and things. Remember, you can put the twigs coming in just, you know, out of shot. Bit more water. And stick a, that goes there like that. So the reflection is going to be something like that. Reload the brush. I'm going to stick another one. That's going to, again, I'm pressing down quite hard. That's going to, this one's going in front of that one. It's gone over those twigs and things. Again, I should put that reflection in. Very, very light I was then. I almost didn't really need to do that, but reload it. Now let's, actually I'm not quite sure that looks right. Just strengthen it a little bit. Put a slightly thinner one going up there. Again, that reflection in. Now they're moving on to the other side. Let's have a big one there. So So I'm pressing right the way down, it's going all the way up there, nice big solid base to it. Again, let's get those reflections in. Reload the brush. Oh, a big one there. A few little limbs on these. Can't see many reflections, that one. Let's stick something right there, going across, right into that light area, just to maximise that contrast. Again, brown, blue, push that up there like that. And I'm popping in the reflection as well at the same time. A few little limbs coming off it. And then I'm just going to stick one more in, and this one's going that way because I don't want them all equally spaced and symmetrical. Just trying to randomise them so it looks more natural. Pop in the reflection. A few little limbs and things. Right, and I think that's will suffice for all those big trunks. Now then, I'm going to squeeze out some lemon yellow straight out the tube because I want to just put it in neat, just so that it pops a little bit. So I'm just going to clean the brush, squeeze the water out of it into the jar, and then just scuff the ears up a little bit as I'm drying it on the tea towel, something like that. And then I'm going to have a few little leaves up there. Pop a few down there as well. Some on that one. Some over there. Also a few down there, a few of them the reflections. Actually, yeah, don't forget the reflections of the leaves as well. And back to this flat brush I've got. I'm just going to pull that out there like that. Straighten that up a little bit. A few little ripples and things in the water. Do this with the height brush if you want. I'm just using this just for see how well it works really. Yeah, just making sure that that's level at the top there. I think I just want to put a few little shadows on the amongst all the hills, so I'm just going to go a bit of brown, a bit of red, a bit of blue, mix all that together. Sort of bluey grey colour. And just mixing a few little shadows amongst these. A few amongst them. Put the reflections in at the same time. I think I'll leave it like that before I go mad. Let's give that a quick dry. thing, just to complete this little woodland river scene. I'm just going to stick our little bird, I'm just going to stick him flying through there. So I'm just going to finish off by sticking my name down in the corner. I'm going to call that one done. So let's stick a mount on it and see what it looks like. As soon as I finish painting in the mount, so let's have a closer look at it. So you can see, as I was saying when we was putting these distant, the first lot of tree trunks, see how they've faded, very, very light, sort of lost in the sort of background haze. Contrast them with the sort of middle ones we were doing, sort of these ones up here, and then again the foreground ones stronger still. It helps create that sort of three-dimensional look, all these different layers in the composition. The strongest one, see, I've deliberately pushed it right as the darkest one goes right into the light area to maximise the contrast. Also played a little with lights and darks on this hillside here. We got our nice little sunlit area here on the hill, and then a few shadows surrounding it here and there. Scraping the rocks, you sort of see the sort of light catching the left hand edge of these rocks as it's sort of coming through the woods. A few more rocks here amongst all these reflections over on the left hand side, and again you see all this sort of massive trees. So you've even got, you can just about see the ones I scraped in with my finger now, just give the impression of light catching them amongst all the darkness in the woodlands. All these reflections down below, just used a very, very light touch and a dry brush just to pull across, just to try and give the water that sort of shimmery look. And then just got a little bird there flying through the scene. So that's my little woodland river painting. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you was painting along with me. Don't forget to keep practicing. All the very best luck with your watercolour painting. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Remember, they've got all the books on Amazon, more videos over on Patreon if you want to look at those. All the links are in the description. So happy painting, and I'll see you again soon.